Welcome to The Energy Says. I'm Jane Sohn, and each week we're decoding the unseen, aligning with our highest timeline, and learning to trust what the energy is trying to tell us. Let's get into it. Hello, we are starting off the abundance series. Today we're talking about things the energy wants you to know about abundance. Now, I feel like so many people get abundance wrong. I think they think of it as just the amount of money in your bank account. And if you don't have a certain random number that you've made up in your mind that is considered wealthy and abundant, then you're not it. And I'm here to tell you that wherever you're starting from doesn't matter. Anything you've been through doesn't matter. You could be abundant tomorrow, the next minute, right? It could come in so quickly, but we have to be open to it. Now, I remember there was this one semester when I was in college, and I, for some reason, decided to take the most amount of credits that I could, the most amount of classes. And during that time period, I also decided I just don't want to study. I just don't want to study. Now, if you know me, I always felt like I needed to study. I think there are people who are naturally smart. I did not feel like I was one of those people. I felt like I really had to work hard for it. And so when it came to studying, I was always trying to be on top of it. And this one semester, for some reason, every morning I felt like I just need to connect. At the time I was really in the church. So I was like, I need to connect with God every morning. And when I did that, I'm telling you, I got the best grades ever that semester. And I know that's not like saying, okay, I suddenly have $1 billion in my bank account, but that was the first time I realized how abundance works. Now, fast forward to a couple years later when I'm working my first job, and I'm working hard, right? I worked hard to get good grades. I worked hard at work, and I was just grinding. It was the time, it was like probably 2009, 2010, when the economy was crashing due to all the mortgages. And I was in this place where I was getting recognized for all of my hard work, and people were getting laid off at the same time. So that put a crazy amount of stress on me to really show up as this person who can do it all, who doesn't say no to things, to opportunities, even if it means completely burning out, which is what I did. I totally burned out. I've never been in a position like that where I physically could not function. I remember I would be driving to work. I would forget where I was going. People would be like, hey, do you want to get, do you want to get coffee? And I would stare blankly and go, I don't even remember what coffee tastes like. It was such a weird moment of not even knowing myself and not being able to function like a normal person would function. And it was during that time where my body kind of went into shock because I had overloaded it so much by working so hard. I was working 16 to 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, that my body stopped working. But the beautiful thing about that was when I finally just let go, I give up. My body's not working. I can't do this anymore. I give up. So much abundance started to flow in. And that was the kicker for me because that made me realize that abundance is our natural state. When I could no longer force my way through the world, my body said, okay, let me take over. And things started coming out of nowhere. I was always taken care of. There were times where I would look at my bank account and I'd be like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to pay my credit cards. And miraculously, everything came in and everything was paid off. Money started coming out of nowhere. It was just starting to flow. And now that's more than 15, 16 years later, there's just so much richness that I've tapped into during that time. Because scarcity is really just a nervous system response. It is your old wiring going about its old patterns and telling you when you need to be afraid of something, when you need to be afraid that you can't pay a bill, when you need to be afraid that you're going to foreclose on your home. That feeling is just your body reacting to something. It is not the truth. In fact, your body is really just waiting for you to take your hands off the wheel and Trust it. Because abundance comes before the money even arrives in your bank account. It's going to be a feeling within you where you let go and you're just liberated from all of it. All the noise, everything telling you how you're supposed to live, everything telling you what you're supposed to do. None of that matters when it comes to abundance. So right about now, you're probably going, okay, Jane, that sounds great, but how do I do that? Like, what does it even look like? Now, it's one thing for me to tell you exactly step by step how to get there, but what would be even more profound for you, what would actually show up as proof for you, would be to do the experience with other people. This is the whole reason why I created Abundant August. It is coming up August 11th to the 31st. It is 21 days of just flowing in the energy of abundance. This is going to happen through breath work. It's going to happen through energy work. It's going to happen through journal prompts, really getting into your subconscious and seeing what your patterns are. All of this gets to unfold for you as we do this challenge together. This is why it is just $21 because I wanted it to be accessible to everyone. And it's really putting yourself in an environment where you get to prove to yourself that this works. Because when we don't have proof of it, I could tell you all the steps and you can go do them, but you're going to say to me, Jane, they don't work. Yeah, they're not going to work if they're not in the right environment. It's the difference between watching someone read off a script or off a teleprompter with really no energy, no enthusiasm, no feeling behind the words that they're saying versus someone who is just pouring out from their heart, really speaking to you and connecting with you on an energetic level. That is what this challenge is. Because I could sit here and I can give you the step-by-step. And I'm sure you've heard other people give you step-by-step instructions. But the reason why it hasn't landed, the reason why you haven't closed the gap on where it is you are and where you want to be in terms of abundance is because you aren't in the right environment and you're not creating the right environment within you. So if you feel something inside you saying, yes, Abundant August is for me, I will leave the link to join in the show notes. We start on August 11th, so get in before then. I have so much good stuff planned for people who join early. I'm telling you, it is going to change your life in 21 days. Now, here's the thing that I know to be true, that when you are rooted in love, when you are able to give love and receive love, you are flowing in abundance. Because when you are in love, there's no such thing as fear and scarcity and doubt. Those don't exist. And so when we think about what we're trying to do when we're creating abundance, it's really at its simplest form is vibrating in the energy of love. Now, if you look at our current society today and things that you've probably been taught growing up, there's a lot of don't talk to strangers. Nothing in life is free. Money doesn't grow on trees. If you've grown up with any of those sayings, whether from your parents or your teachers or people you look up to, that's just a subconscious wiring. That means you've been programmed to believe these things. And whether you believe them or not in your current life, they're ingrained in you so that you subconsciously are operating in that framework. I see it so often with people because when they are looking for abundance, when they're looking to create more in their life, there is this idea that, maybe someday. And immediately when I hear that, I know there's some kind of subconscious belief in them, keeping them from having it today. Because the more that we put it out there in the future, it feels reasonable to us. It feels like, well, it's not here right now, but it's probably not going to land tomorrow. Maybe in like 10 years, right? Maybe in 5 years even. Maybe it's way further down the line, like 20 years, then, I can retire and I can live the life I want. That's just a program. At your core, you already are love. You already are abundant. And so by that definition, that means it is flowing to you. We're just blocking it on some level. So then the work to call in more abundance into your life isn't about doing more. It's about returning back to your being. It's about unraveling those subconscious beliefs that are keeping you blocked and getting to a place where in your nervous system, you feel safe to hold the amount of money, the amount of abundance, the amount of love that you always desired. And I'm telling you, anything you desire is completely possible for you. All right, so don't forget to tune in next week as we continue this series on abundance. And if you want to join Abundant August, grab your spot now. I will catch you in the next one.